Hi, my name is Derrick Marks, and I want to talk some facts and some of my personal experiences from the book A More Beautiful Question by author Warren Berger, who coined the term questionologist while he was working for the New York Times. He says a questionologist is someone who questions everything. I'm sure we all know some questionologists of our own, especially with kids wanting to know about everything. I happen to be very close to a professional questionologist, my godson Alex, and he happens to be only 4 years old. And he has so many questions. I believe if he got paid to ask all these questions, he would be the world's youngest billionaire. But whenever I get together with Alex over the summers, because that is really the only time I get to see him, because my job requires me to be away from my family 10 months out the year. It's just a nonstop marathon of questions. Why do I have to live so far? Do I miss my mom when I'm away? Why do I take so many showers? Why can't he come to see me play basketball? Am I going to marry my girlfriend? Am I going to have kids? Is he going to have some baby cousins? When? How many? Why can't kids drive? He also asked questions like, why did I miss so many basketball shots when we were at the gym? Because sometimes I bring him along because, he's the only boy in the family, so it's good to just have some one-on-one time. And those are the type of questions he asked me. He asked me why I miss so many shots when I'm at the gym. And unfortunately, I gotta tell him, hey, those are questions I often ask myself. But it turns out Alice is on the right track by asking so many questions. It's us adults that have to get on board with the questionology. And right now, he's at the age where he's asking so many questions and he's just soaking everything up like a sponge. And I think us adults have kind of lost a sense of that. Studies have shown that kids stop asking so many questions around the time they get to the age of 10, but I really want to encourage Alex to continue to asking these questions and never change, because I believe in the long run it'll help him more than anything. Alex is asking beautiful questions like some of the greatest innovators of our times, such as Steve Jobs, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, and there's so many others. And these greats are just never satisfied, and I believe their success comes from their willingness to never be stagnant. They always believe that there's more to learn and they can always grow more, because society will always continue to evolve. So there will always be more questions to there will always be more answers to these questions that we ask. Now, I want to move on to more of my personal experiences over here in Italy playing basketball with my team. I like to think of myself as a leader for the team I play for. I played professional basketball, and I believe there's a certain attitude towards questioning. Whether you are on a team, whether it be sports or in the business world, there's always some sort of attitude, whether good or bad, towards questioning. Of my team, I'm viewed as the leader, of course. So to everyone else, I seem to always have the questions to everything and know what to do and know what to say all the time. For example, when things are going bad with the team, such as we can lose 2 or 3 or 4 games in a row, or we can have a bad performance, or we can even have a good performance, but it may not have been our best performance. Questions will surface such as, what do we need to be doing differently? Or what are we doing wrong? What are we not doing? Even when things are going good for our team, questions may arise such as, what can we do better so our success doesn't become stagnant? Or what could we be doing more of? What we can't possibly be doing everything within our power. For everyone else, they don't have to worry about these questions. They only want answers. And these questions, and these aren't questions that we just ask each other. These are questions we have to feel comfortable with asking the coach, asking, friends who watch the games, or supporters, and so on and so on. And when we ask these questions, we have to feel comfortable enough to have a productive dialogue where we don't seem to come off as a know-it-all, or if I want to give my input to the coach or give my opinion to the coach, I don't want to come off as the coach is necessarily doing something wrong. I think asking questions often can be really, really effective. Some people see things and ask why or why not. Watching film as a team, and we might ask why or what could we have done differently in this particular situation. When a particular situation comes up on the film where we make a mistake, if we just don't say, okay, that was the wrong thing to do, and move on. That's not how it works. If we ask ourselves, what were we thinking? Or when you were here in this position, what thoughts were going through your mind? And when we ask these questions, it doesn't have to be something negative. When I ask you what is on your mind, it can be for the good. We just want to be all on the same page. We want everyone to understand where the mistake was made. So when there is another situation, the same mistake won't happen again. Some might say there's a feeling that we don't have time for our leaders or colleagues to be sitting around asking questions, and I believe that is a common struggle in the business world, or in my case, on my basketball team. And not to say that my teammates or colleagues don't care necessarily, but just that they want answers. They don't care about the answers. They really just want solutions, and not to be wasting time asking all these questions. But I believe we cannot get to a solution without asking questions, because I believe asking the questions, that is the first step. When there's a problem or a situation where answers or solutions are needed, they just don't come to the surface. It just doesn't magically pop up and we just know exactly what to do. We really have to ask ourselves. We have to really ask ourselves, and we have to really do some deep digging, because sometimes it really isn't that easy. What do we really need to do to make this work? And with these questions, there can't be any holding back. Holding back will only hinder the success of everyone involved, and that's not something we want, definitely. As I've been playing basketball professionally, this is my 5th year playing. I've seemed to notice that players don't ask as many questions as once before when they were playing the middle school or high school basketball and even college basketball. I believe the level of question asking has been decreased over the years simply because they would rather get it wrong rather than asking the questions and not seeming as smart. And I believe that's just so backwards. I believe when you ask a question, it doesn't necessarily mean that you aren't as smart or you aren't as focused. It could be you could be used to a different situation and another situation can bring out a different outcome. It just depends on what is going on. Before we made it to this point as professionals, we came from somewhere else where we were the leader and everyone looked at us for guidance. From the book, the more knowledge we have, the less we tend to ask questions. And I believe at some point during our careers, now that the level of play has been heightened, I think there is some type of embarrassment if we ask a question because it may seem like a dumb question or something that we should know already, but in a sense, there are no dumb questions. When we first start out in our professions, we have so many questions because we just don't know anything. We just don't know what's going on. We're just getting our feet wet. So for this example, for kids, when we came across something, we had so many questions to ask and we soaked them in like a sponge. The more comfortable you get in the job, the less questions you ask. And I think that I think I fall into that a bit also because I've been playing basketball for so much of my life that there is times where I don't ask as many questions. And after reading the book and taking this course, I see how effective questioning is because I just don't want to stop my growth. The growth should never stop no matter how long you've been doing something. There's always something to learn. But the facts are you just tend to stop asking questions about your work and how to become better, and you might fail to innovate or fail to learn how you can do something differently than the way you were originally taught. I think to make a good team propel to a great team, there has to be some type of expectation and on asking questions or giving some type of analysis of what could be changed or done differently. Now, I play for a coach that he likes to have things done his way or no way. And sometimes it's very frustrating because if we all are trying to accomplish a task, it's very hard to try to find the best solution, but at the same time not being allowed to give my own input. And this is our 9th game, and we've had our early struggles at a team. And he isn't so warming to the fact that some of his tactics are outdated. So for me, being the leader of the team is something I have to fix, I believe. There could be certain questions I could be asking just to understand his way of doing things, and there could be some give and take. It doesn't have to be all one-sided. I think when there is some give and take, that's when the best compromise comes, because in basketball, it's like, okay, I'm going to play your game, but you also have to allow me and my teammates to play our game. And that's how you get the best out of us. And we just don't want to feel like if we come to you, then we will automatically be shut down because it isn't your way. So to conclude my presentation, I just want to highlight that asking questions every day is good for innovation and good for our personal everyday growth. And I think that we have something to learn from kids. They want to ask all these questions because they just want to know everything. So I think it's time for us adults to take a page out of their book so we can continuously grow every day and not allow our innovation to become stagnant. Thank you. This is my presentation, and thank you. I hope you liked it.